Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjanashalakaja Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapadakamalaam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratvishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namosade Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jai Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Hare Krishna. So we are in chapter 17. Now we are in chapter 17. Now we almost did the first half, the birth and the influence of the both the Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, the babies and the childhood, or the whatever we say, but their influence is the influences we have seen. I will see the last two sections, small sections only. This also Hiranyaksha conquering world on behalf of his brother. Also, he is doing that. His family, special family. So then we will see how he goes to. He is trying to find a competent person. That is the main aspect here. The person who has some, what to say, some power or position, post, etc., talents, skills. If it is not in properly with the proper attitudes, if we don't have proper guidance, then it's only more towards showing to people, show off to people. Of course, last two sections we have seen the inauspicious omens after the birth of twin brothers. We have seen how the brothers grew up and the name giving ceremony also. So then now Hiranyaksha travels all over the universe to fight, to satisfy his brother. So this is also another beautiful aspect to that everyone wants to please his relatives or his dependents, etc. That is there, that me and mine, I, me, mine. So that's there is also another aspect. Hiranyaksha is trying to please his brother by his activities, by his conquer. Then seeing his uncontrolled temper, gigantic form, strength, all demigods fled. So he was searching both on the earth, on the heavenly planets, and didn't find anyone to compete. And then he is trying to find a suitable candidate to fight. He goes to Patal, Pasatal, and the Varuna's kingdom. So with a desire to fight, he then dove into ocean. And there he founds, he's trying to find out some competent personality, and he arrives at Varuna's place, Vibhavari. So then he is kind of showing off in a humble way. Hiranyaksha's false humility fell at Varuna's feet and asking, begging for fight. So that is another way of presenting false ego. Then Varuna, knowing that I am not a competent person, then he directs him towards the Lord. So that is the end of this chapter of 17th. Okay, let us see the verses now. We paused at the 20th verse yesterday. Yeah, 20th verse. हिरण्याक्षो नुजस्तस्य प्रियः प्रीतिकृत् अन्वहम् गदापाणिर्दिवं जातो युयुत्सुर्मुखयन्त्रणम्. Please read translation. Someone can start.
His younger brother Hiranyaksha was always ready to satisfy his elder brother by his activities. Hiranyaksha took a club on his shoulder and traveled all over the universe with a fighting spirit just to satisfy Hiranyakashipu.
Continue.
The demonic spirit is to train all family members to exploit the resources of this universe for personal sense gratification, whereas the godly spirit is to engage everything in the service of the Lord. Hiranyakashipu.
Yeah, last two lines you can read.
If possible, he wanted to rule the universe eternally. These are demonstrations of the spirit of the demonic living entity.
The mentality is to exploit the resources. They train also. There is a training and engagement everywhere in them also. But the main goal is different. They always want to use everything for their own personal sense gratification. But devotees always use everything, engage everything in service of the Lord. So that is the main difference between, of course, we read many times. Prabhupada explains the same point, same theme in different ways. Text 21. Tam viksha dussahajavam ranat kanchana nupuram Vaijayantya sarachajustam amshanyasta mahagadam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hiranyaksha's temper was difficult to control. He had anklet of gold tinkling about his feet. He was adorned with a gigantic garland, and he rested his huge mass on one of his shoulders. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Huge mace means gada. That mace he is carrying, just like Balram. Balram carries that mace. So Hiranyaksha, his name itself is Anvardha. Anvardha means when they give names to children. So previously they used to, the activities and the name used to match. That's why they used to be, that is called Anvardha. Anvardha means Ardha, the name of the meaning, it follows the activities. It befits the name basically, befitting name, Anvardha. Hiranyaksha means Hiranya, the gold. Aksha means eyes. Wherever his eyes falls, he always want to see gold. Basically, he is greedy for gold. Hiranyaksha. He always want to see the gold. And Hiranyakashipu, we know Hiranyakashipu. Hiranya means gold and Kashipu means soft bed. Lust and greed. All these are demonic qualities. Kashipu Muni knows that's how he named them accordingly. Of course, many times in this world, the names may not match. Somebody may have a name Padmalochan or Padmanayan, but may not be exactly befitting names. But generally, it's like that. Yeah, these names are befitting Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu. So he was wearing all these gold things, and he was carrying. His temper was difficult to control because he has a lot of power. He's unable to maintain his temper. He's roaming around now. Manovirya varotsiktam ashrunyam akuto bhayam pita nilirire devastarkshatrasta ivahayah. Please read.
His mental and bodily strength, as well as the boon conferred upon him, had made him proud. He feared death at the hands of no one, and there was no checking him. The gods therefore were seized with fear at his very sight, and they hid themselves even as snakes hide themselves for fear of Garuda. The Asuras are generally strong built as described here, and therefore their mental condition is very sound, and their prowess is also extraordinary. Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, having received the boon that they would not be killed by any other living entity within this universe, were almost immortal, and thus they were completely fearless.
Yeah. So his mental and bodily strength, as well as the boon conferred upon him, had made him proud. So it appears that, of course, we read the Hiranyakashipu's extraordinary or whatever tapasya we read in 7th canto, but we don't hear or read Hiranyaksha's thing. But it appears that he also did great tapasyas, and both of them achieved the boons. So as Prabhupada mentioned in the purport also, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu having received the boon. So it seems that yeah, they both performed great austerities, and then they achieved the powers. Yeah, because of he feared death at the hands of no one, so there was no checking on him. So it had made him proud. So that's the demonic quality. That's when identifying with the body and bodily strength and extra powers post position, one becomes proud of his own. He thinks it is of his own. See, that is the main aspect of demonic mentality. So we need to be, of course, we are learning many things. So we also discussed about demonic mentality. So that's what make them proud. They identify with the body, and whatever the resources they have, they are all earned by their own strength. So then Prabhupada writing about, of course, analogy is given. By seeing them, it's like a Garuda, and seeing this like snakes. How the snakes are feared by Garuda. They hide in themselves. Similarly, Garuda is compared to here Hiranyaksha. May not be a very befitting, but it's compared like that because of his strength. In terms of strength is compared, not in terms of character. Garuda is a great devotee of the Lord, right? But in terms of strength is compared here, Garuda, and demigods are compared to snakes. They all flew to different, and they hid themselves. So he's trying to find a competent person to fight, but no one is there as of now. And Prabhupada mentioning about sound body and sound mind. Generally in this world also we hear sound mind exists in sound body, right? Army people generally they have many slogans like that. Sound mind in the sound body. But yeah, that may be true. But what is the sound mind? The sound mind is only when it is thinking of Krishna or thinking of spiritual life. However sound it may be, one will be dragged down in cycle of birth and death unless it start thinking about spiritual aspects. So of course, as the body grows and as body is dwindling, the subtle body also, and basically the gross and subtle body has a lot of connection. When the body is down, when we are weak, diseased, immediately subtle body also becomes very much down. It cannot think properly, it cannot act properly, it is not very much sound and happy. So there is a very, very thick connection between the gross body and subtle body. So that's how they understand that, okay, there will be sound mind in the sound body. When the body is sound, so the mind also will be sound. But may not be the cases, many cases. But it has to be oppositely, should happen as we grow in our life. As the age grows, the body goes on dwindling. Right? Now, gross body has to dwindle. But the subtle body should not go on dwindling in the sense of it should grow in its enthusiasm and its thinking about Krishna and planning for Krishna's special services. That's how our, though the gross body is growing, but the subtle body has to become more and more active in terms of thinking and planning. Though we may not be able to execute on a physical level, we may not be doing many things for Krishna's service as the body grows. But still the internal subtle body, the enthusiasm, especially what we read in our Bhakti Shastri, Utsahat, Nischayat, Dhairyat, there is a more of on a subtle level. So as we grow more and more in age, we may not be able to execute on a physical level. But yeah, at a subtle level, we need to become mentally, we should be very strong. Mental condition has to be very sound as we grow in the spiritual life. Of course, for Hiranyaksha, he was on both ways. He is very proud on physically and mental level also, because his family, Hiranyakashipu, is there for him to support. So that is also another cause for his pride. So he was trying to find a suitable person. That is a comment, yeah. Now, powers are meant to deploy in devotional service, not to display. This is also a very important point. We need to understand that whatever we have, powers in the sense, either we have physical powers or position, post, skills, talents. They are supposed to deploy in the sense that we need to engage in devotional service. They are meant for engaging in Krishna service, not for display to people that I have so much power, so much talent, so much skill, singing, art, music, drawings, garlands, cooking. Any aspects, it's only for a service of Krishna, not to make show to other people that I have this and let me see who is competent with that talent. That is the, if we have that kind of a tendency, then it's more going towards the Hiranaksha mentality, to showing to people demonic mentalities. So we need to be careful about that as well. We are not showing to displaying, but we are rather practicing. We are not performing. Performance is more of a to show to people. Practice is more to engage in service of the Lord. That's Hiranyaksha is trying to display and also to demonstrate to people how strong he was. So that's happening here, the situation. Savaiti rohitan drashtva mahasa svena daityaraat Sendran devaganan kshiban apashyan vyanadadbrasham.
Translation: on not finding Indra and the other demigods who had previously been intoxicated with power, the chief of the Daityas, seeing that they had all vanished before his might, rode loudly.
Yeah. So all flew. He is unable to see anyone on the upper planets. So then seeing that he is trying to find some other place. Tato nivrataha kridishyan gambhiram bhima nishvanam vijagahe mahasatto vardhim matta iva vipaha.
Translation: After returning from the heavenly kingdom, the mighty demon, who was like an elephant in wrath, for the sake of sport, dived into the deep ocean, which was roaring terribly.
So comment is that his strength is so strong. I mean, he has so much of strength. Because of that, he has feeling a lot of heat in the body, and he has a lot of heat. So he want to dive deep into the ocean, at least to pacify himself and also to find a person. Now he is diving deep into the Pasatal, the Karbotak ocean. तस्मिन् प्रविष्टे वरुणस्य सैनिका यादो गणः सन्नधिया ससाद्वसाः अहन्यमाना अपि तस्य वचसा प्रकर्षिता दूरतरं प्रदुदुर्रुः.
Translation. On his entering the ocean, the aquatic animals who formed the host of Varuna were stricken with fear and ran far away. Thus Hiranyaksha showed his splendor without dealing a bow.
Continue.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Materialistic demons sometimes appear to be very powerful and are seen to establish their supremacy throughout the world. Here also it appears that Hiranyaksha, by his demonic strength, actually establishes supremacy throughout the universe, and the demigods were afraid of his uncommon power. Not only were the demigods in space afraid of the demons Hiranyakshipu and Hiranyaksha, but also were the aquatic animals within the sea.
They want to display the power, establish the supremacy. That's the nature of demonic personalities. Savarshapuga Anyudado Mahabalas Charan Mahormin Swasane Ritan Muhu Maurya Vichangre Gadaya Vibhavari Ase Divamstan Purim Prachetasaha.
Translation. Moving about in the ocean for many years, the mighty Hiranyaksha smote the gigantic wind-tossed waves again and again with his iron mace and reached Vibhavari, the capital of Varuna. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Varuna is supposed to be the predominating deity of the waters, and his capital, which is known as Vibhavari, is within the watery kingdom.
Yeah. So that's how he was moving around, even in the ocean, that ocean, he was moving many years. That's how he's trying to find. So, and he reached finally the capital of the ocean, Vibhavari, the capital of Varuna. Of course, his name is also Prachetasa of Varuna, capital he reached there. No conversation between. And once he reached, so he is trying to talk to the Varuna, king of the waters. तत्रोपलभ्य सुरलोकपालकं यादो गडानां वृषभं प्रचेतसम् स्मयन् प्रलब्धुं प्रणिपत्य नीचवत् जगादमेदे अधिराज संयुगम्.
Vibhavari. Vibhavari is the home of Varuna, lord of the aquatic creatures and guardian of the lower regions of the universe, where the demons generally reside. Their Hiranyaksha fell at Varuna's feet like a low-born man, and to make fun of him, he said with a smile, "Give me battle, O Supreme Lord." Purport. The demonic person always challenges others and tries to occupy others' property by force. Here, these symptoms are fully displayed by Hiranyaksha, who begged war from a person who had no desire to fight.
So just to make fun of him, Pranipatya Nichavati, he is like a Smayan because of the pride, Pralabdham, though he has a lot of pride, but still he was, that pride is in a negative way showing the humility. So this is another symptom of demonic people. Some, though they are proud, but still they want to show that they are humble. That is another symptom of pride. So he's asking, my dear Lord, please give me a battle. Begging, he is begging, making fun of him. Tvam lokapalo dhipatir bruhatshava virya paho durmada viramanina vijitya loke akhila daitya danavan yadrajasuyena pura jayat prabho.
You are the guardian of an entire sphere and a ruler of wide fame, having crushed the might of arrogant and conceited the warriors and having conquered all the Daityas and Danavas in the world, you once performed a ritual sacrifice to the Lord.
He's saying to Varuna, hey my dear Varunadev, so you are guardian of entire sphere, you are ruling everything here. And not only that, you conquered all the Daityas and Danavas in the world and performed sacrifice, Rajasuya sacrifice. That's what Rajasuya sacrifice means. We know that only by conquering all over the kingdom, all over the universe itself, then only you can do Rajasuya. So he is saying that he is kind of glorifying in a negative way. The comment is also that he is saying in a negative way. So because we are not there, we were not there, like Hiranyaksha, we brothers were not there. That's why you could conquer all the Chotu Motu, whatever small people are there. And you conquered and you did Rasvigna. Now you do. I am there here. You conquer me now. Then you can do Rasvigna. So in that way, in a negative way, he's trying to uh, appreciate or glorify his talent, but it's in a sarcastic way of saying, "Oh, you conquered all Daityas and did Rasvigna." So but it's a negative way. He's sarcastically saying, "Without us, you conquered small people and did Rasvigna. Now you do if you have that power." So in that way, he's inciting Varuna to challenge a battle. स एवमुत्सिक्तमदेन विद्विषा दृढं प्रलब्धो भगवान् आपपतिः अपाम्पतिः रोषं समुत्तं शमयन् स्वया धिया व्यवोचत् अंगोपशमं गताभयम्.
Hare Krishna. Thus, mocked by an enemy whose vanity knew no bounds, the worshipful Lord of the waters waxed angry. But by dint of his reason, he managed to curb the anger and had sprung up in him. And he replied, "O dear one, we have now desisted from warfare, having grown too old for combat." But as we see, mongering materialists always create fighting without reason.
Yeah, so after hearing this, though waxed anger, our Varunadev, internally he became very angry. Anger is increasing because he's also Kshatriya, he's also a personality. But by dint of his reason, he managed to curb the anger that has sprung up in him. So he controlled Samayan, Rosham Samuttam Samayan, Swayatya, by his own intelligence. He is able to control himself. And then he was trying to reply, "Oh dear one, we have now desisted from warfare, having grown too old for combat." So he's saying that I am an old person, what I can fight with you? I'm an old person. If you want really fight, then you will come back to the main point. about he directs to the Lord. So he's mentioning about his inability to fight with him. He knows the power of Hiranyaksha, and by his intelligence also he's using. So similarly, we also need to choose the battles in life with intelligence. So Swayadhiya, by using intelligence, what to fight, where to fight and where not to fight. So we may lose some battles, but we have to win the war. In the life, war means it's a big war. There are small battles goes on, just like in Kurukshetra war. There will be small battles. Battle means like a small fightings between in small sizes. Arjuna is fighting with small number of people. Yudhishthira is fighting with some other group. So these are all small battles. But the war is big one. So we need to choose the battles, right battles in life, based on our priorities, based on our intelligence, either in our preaching or in our life. So just like Prabhupada also, when he was not at all trying to find some great results in India, he stopped fighting battle in India. So he thought, let me focus on Western preaching. Of course, he did around 25 years, very focused preaching in India, from 50 onwards till 65, almost 15 focused years in, after Vanaprastha life. But still, he thought it's not going to making a big difference here. Let me go to West and then let me try. So, but the war is going on. War on the Maya is keep on fighting against war, against Maya is there. But we need to choose the right battle, where to fight. What is the strength is there. So that's the nature of devotee also, that we need to, with using our intelligence, we need to fight the battles in our life also. Because our lives have, human life is a facility with some ability and time bound. As a fact, that is a facility with some ability, the time bound. So we have this human life is a facility we have. We have some abilities. Everybody has different abilities according to personality, nature, etc. And we have time bound, 50, 60, 70, whatever, time bound. So by using these two, our energy and time, we need to choose particular areas to contribute ourselves in both in all levels, in our financial, in our family, in our society, in our Krishna consciousness also. At the center is our Krishna consciousness, and we make priorities according to our intelligence, and so that we are fighting the right battles and we are winning the war against Maya and going back home, back to Godhead. And we are not that we fought a battle and we won, but we lose the war. What is the point of gaining the battle? Though we may be very good in our financial situation, but we lost so much of time, or we may be very good in our physical health. Of course, I'm not saying we should neglect them, but how much to do that we need to be intelligently decide. That's the main point. पश्यामि नान्यं पुरुषात् पुरातनात् यः संयुगे त्वां रणमार्गकोविदम् आराध्ययिष्यत् असुरर्षभेहितं मनस्विनोऽयं गुणते भवादृशाः.
Hare Krishna. You are so killed in war that I do not see anyone else but the most ancient person, Lord Vishnu, who can give satisfaction in the battle to you. Therefore, O chief of Asuras, approach him, whom even heroes like you mention with praise. Purport. Aggressive materialistic warriors are actually punished by Supreme Lord for their policy of unnecessarily disturbing the world peace. Therefore, Varuna advised Hiranyaksha that the right course to satisfy his fighting spirit would be to seek to fight with Vishnu.
So, Hare Krishna. So he is directing, chief officers approach him. The Lord is there. The Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is there. Approach him, the Supreme Personality. Purushat Puranat, Puratanat, most ancient Purusha. So Asura Shabha, or chief of Asuras, is addressing him. So he is directing him to. He is indicating him, because that is also another way of solving the problem. When a person comes with a problem, though we may not be able to give the solution, but directing him to where he can get the solution. That is also an intelligent way of dealing the problem. If I say I will not fight, then now the person's need is something else, other person need. Then he will be satisfied. He will leave us any problem. If somebody comes asking something, that person is very good in that, in any aspect. If a person is coming to us and asking, can you give me a glass? Can you give us a glass? If we are busy, we can definitely say that other devotees is free. He's also having a wonderful experience in that field. You can consult him either in services or in any other area. So then that person need is satisfied. So we are trying to serve him. We are not denying his need. So that in that way we can definitely help the other devotee in case in the devotee's dealings. That service attitude we want to serve them, but we may not be able to serve them, but we can direct them to other devotees. Of course, here Varuna is very intelligent to guide him to proper personality. What will happen by approaching him? He will say in this verse, Tam Veeramaradhavipadya Vismaya Shayishyase Veerashaye Swabhirvrataha Yastvadvidanam Asatam Prashantaye Rupani Datte Sadunugrahechaya.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Varuna continued, on reaching him, you will be rid of your pride at once and will lie down on the field of battle, surrounded by dogs for eternal sleep. It is in the order to exterminate wicked followers like you and to show his grace to the virtuous that he assumes his various incarnation like Varaha. Purport: Asuras do not know that their bodies consist of the 5 elements of material nature, and that when they fall, they become object of pastimes for dogs and vultures. Varuna advised Hiranyaksha to meet Vishnu in his war incarnation so that his hankering for aggressive war would be satisfied and his powerful body would be vanquished. Thus, the end of Bhaktivedanta purports of the third canto, 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Victory of Hiranyaksha over all the directions of the universe. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. So he's directing to the Lord, what will happen? Yeah, your pride will be smashed down and your body will become a prey to all the dogs and jackals. So in that sense, so he's saying, he's giving a caution also. That is another warning from Varuna, but still that's a demonic mentality. We will see what happens in the next chapter, that he is not listening on. He doesn't pay heed. He takes more because he's always looking for a competent person. He thought, okay, I have a great competence now to fight with a competent person. Let me show my power. So that is the pride. So that pride will be smashed down. So that's the nature of the time itself also we can learn that though we are not humble, we will be humbled in due course of time. If we are not humble by nature, we will be humbled by nature. Nature in the sense by time. The time will, just like once Prabhupada, one person used to come to temple the center in West countries, that he used to come and talk to many devotees. He used to keep on coming and talking, but he was not bowing down to the deities. So devotees mentioned, so when we come to temple, so we need to bow down to the Lord. So here is the Lord standing personally, Shivigraha Radhan, Shivigraha. So we need to bow down to the Lord. He said, no, I don't feel like, I cannot bow down. So one time it happened that Prabhupada was there. Then Prabhupada asked, then why are you not bowing down? No, I don't feel like, why should I bow down? Prabhupada mentioned, okay, if you are not bowing down, then the nature will make you bow down in due course. When old age, disease and death will come, and the death is the final blow, you have to bow down to death. There is no question of not bowing down to, especially to death. When death will come, you have to bow down. So better you bow down now. So in that way, he was made humble. He was humbled. If one is naturally not humble, one will be humbled by nature in due course of time. So Muhammad Ali used to proclaim himself, I am the greatest. And so after any tournament, any match, is a great boxer of 90s, 80s, 90s. So he used to announce himself after, of course, definitely he has a talent also. Within 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, he used to make the opponent flat. So he used to announce, I am the greatest. So, but after many years in his life, he retired and he got Parkinson's disease. And one time he was asked to come and light up a tournament, and he was unable to hold the torch to light up the tournament. So then reporters asked later on, you used to announce you are the greatest. Yes, now also I say, I am the greatest. But he said, I am greatest fool. No. So that's how, if one is not humble, he will be humbled by nature. By time, so we need to, at every level, everybody has different levels of the layers of ego or pride. So we need to see how to be always humble, which is the foundation to chant Hare Krishna. The humility is the foundation for our spiritual life to chant Hare Krishna. Otherwise, Janmaishwara Shutashribir Yedamanah Matapuman Naivarhatya Vidhatum Vai Tvamakinchana Gocharam. We cannot chant Hare Krishna. All that with identification that I am great with all my beauty and all my knowledge and whatever we have, talent, skills, we cannot chant Hare Krishna. So Prabhupada wrote a very beautiful purport to that verse. There is a quality to chant, to calling at the names of the Lord. So with the pride, we cannot call out to the Lord. So we endeavor to be humble always. Just by recognizing that these are all given by Lord is the crux to be humble. Always remembering that these are all the whatever I have in my possession. Manas deho geho jo kichu more arpilu tuva pade nanda kishore. My dear Lord, you only give me all these things, that intelligence, strength, whatever, post, position, house, whatever positions we have. When we identify or when we trying to identify with the Lord, then we will always be humble position. So in that sense, we will always chant Hare Krishna and remember the Lord, which is very pleasing to the Lord. Otherwise, the pride will smash us down. As like Hiranyaksha is smashed down by the Lord. Along with his pride, he was also smashed down. So that's how he is lost his life. So let us continue our next chapter, where Hiranyaksha now, after hearing from Varuna, and he is trying to see where that Varah, that fellow who is so competent, what Varuna is saying about. That comes in chapter 18. So this is also a small chapter. We are a little behind of our schedule. Let us see how we can come, how much we can cover. But yeah, we have seen 17 chapter where basically their birth and their influence and the conversation between Varuna and Hiranyaksha especially is talked in that chapter. Now in this chapter, the battle will be spoken between Varahadev and the demon Hiranyaksha. And the next chapter will be death of Hiranyaksha. Here only it's only fight. It's mentioned in this. Of course, conversation happen in a fight. There will be always conversation. Conversation in the sense not just conversation, dialogue, but it's more of a Kshatriya spirit of showing, enraging each other, enticing, enraging each other, or criticizing each other so that the blood is boiling. So these are all Kshatriya's ways of inciting anger, pride, or whatever, the fighting spirits. So same things happen in a fighting also. That's another rasa, vibhats rasa. Lord is relishing here with Hiranyaksha. So now the demon, after seeing the Lord Varaha, Varahadev is trying to lift the earth, Mother Earth, on its to its orbit. Then here Hiranyaksha comes and sees. Then he criticizes the Lord, and of course the acharyas glorify the Lord, though it's a criticism from the demon. Another way of glorification, Saraswati walk. That is also a beautiful section 2 to 8. Prabhupada also wrote much of the glorification of the Lord. 9 to 12 is Lord's fitting reply to Hiranyaksha. Lord replies to him. And their fight between Varaha and Hiranyaksha. Their fight is happening between these two. 13 to 20. Lord appears to be losing for the sake of giving more and more flavor to the fight. Right now in movie also generally hero is being beaten by the villain sometimes initially, and everybody is in tension. What is going to happen? And of course, hero wins again. So similarly, some kind of losing side is spoken here from the Lord Varaha fighting with Hiranyaksha. And then by seeing that all the demigods came into anxiety, they came under anxiety. Oh, what will happen? Hey, Hiranyaksha, he has to be killed now. It's a time. Brahmaji specifically comes down and requests the Lord, my dear Lord, please kill him now. Otherwise, if it is going to be evening, then he will gain a lot of strength. So please kill immediately. We should not wait for the evening to come. So that's how Brahmaji comes and requests the Lord. Of course, in the next chapter, the death will happen. But here is only the conversation or the fighting between Lord Varaha and Hiranyaksha, and Brahmaji comes and trying to not inspire the Lord, but to request the Lord to kill the Hiranyaksha. Let us start the 18th chapter, the battle between the boar and the demon Hiranyaksha. Maitreya Uvacha तदेव माकर्णजले भाषितं महामनास्तद् विगणय्य दुर्मदः हरेर्विदित्वा गतिम् अङ्गनारदात् रसातलं निर्विविशे वरान्वितः.
Translation. Maitreya continued, the proud and falsely glorious Daitya paid little heed to the words of Varuna. O dear Vidura, he learned from Narada the whereabouts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and hurriedly betook himself to the depths of the ocean. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Materialistic warmth warmongers are not even afraid to fight with their mightiest enemy, the personality of Godhead. Since demonic persons are less intelligent, they dare to fight with Vishnu, who is known as Ajita, or one who has never been conquered.
Prabhupada is saying pay little heed. He didn't bother about who is that person and what is his strength and all. That's what Prabhupada writing here. The demonic personalities are less intelligent. To understand, before fighting, you need to estimate the strength of the enemy. Also, that is the another aspect of intelligent fighter. But demonic persons are less intelligent. He didn't consider at all. I am the greatest. So who is going to be there with me? Who is going to fight with me? So he is not at all not afraid to fight with their mightiest enemy, the personality God. Prabhupada is writing. So yeah, pride doesn't allow one to heed to any kind of instructions by superiors, advisors. So that's the nature of pride. Pride doesn't allow one to heed any instructions or advices. Vena was proud, so proud, he was not heeding into words of Brahmanas. Vena, we'll read in later cantos, the Vena, Prithu Maharaj. Of course, Prithu Maharaj is father, Prithu Maharaj is son of Vena. Anga Maharaj is father. Anga's son is Vena, Vena's son is Prithu. So Vena was so proud of his all his talents, etc. But he was smashed down by Brahmanas. And Daksha was also too proud of his post and position, etc. They don't listen. Pride, when little pride is there, it's a very, very, very tough to listen to others' instructions. I know cooking. I cooked so many festivals and so many thousands I cooked. If somebody gives some advice, whom you are saying to, right now? So that's general tendency. Generally, may not be all the cases for all of you as well, but in general, it happens. The cover may come. I know. These two words are the greatest obstacles to learn. I know it. 3 words, I know it. As long as we are having that covers, then we cannot learn anything from anyone. That's the pride. That's here in Aksha we can see that how he has less intelligence. Demonic has less intelligence. He didn't pay heed to the insect. Though he said she will be flat, he'll be pray for dogs and jackals, but he didn't listen. Dadarsa tatra abhijitam dharadharam proniyamana agradam straja mushantam akshna swarucho runashriya jaha sachaho vanagocharo mrigaha.
He saw there the all-powerful personality of Godhead in his boar incarnation, bearing the earth upward on the ends of his tusk and robing him of his splendor with his reddish eyes. The demon laughed, "Oh, an ambitious beast."
Continue.
In a previous chapter, we have discussed the incarnation of Supreme Personality of Godhead as Varaha, the boar, while Varaha, with his tusk, engaged in uplifting the submerged earth from the depth of the waters. This great demon Hiranyaksh met him and challenged him, calling him a beast. Demons cannot understand the incarnation of the Lord. They think that his incarnation as a fish or boar or tortoise are being beast only. They misunderstand the body. Yeah. Should I read?
Yeah, thank you. So he saw, no, he was finding for a competent person, Varuna directed, and he came and saw oh, personality of Godhead, somebody, of course, he understands as a great person, some mighty person. He's seeing as a bore. He's not seeing as a personality. So he was seeing that he's lifting the earth, and tusk here on the tusk, he has the earth planet. And also he has a vision that vision in the sense that his splendor is also robbed by his eyes, as if he's robbing his splendor. His splendor means Hiranyaksha's splendor, or his glory, or whatever. The power is feeling that he's robbing, he's drawing all his strength. It felt like that. But the demon laughed. Just Vanagochara Mraga, you are like a beast. That's the first sarcastic comment by seeing the form of the Lord. He didn't see the transcendental form of personality of Godhead, but he saw only as an animal, as an ambitious beast. Amphibious man, both. It can stay in water also, it can stay on the land also. Amphibious beast, Vanagochara. Of course, Prabhupada is saying it appears that from comment that it appears that the both are same pastimes, but as we know that from commentaries that two are different. That in the previous chapter, the Svetavaraha lifted earth and completed that pastime. And here in this pastime of Nilavarah, he is lifting the earth, and now Hiranyaksha came into picture. He's fighting with him. He will fight with him. So that is another example. Of course, Prabhupada bringing out another point of how they cannot understand. Yeah, because he is only seeing the form of the Lord as a boar. He's seeing him as a material form, as a mortal form. So they are seeing only as an animal. So that understanding may extend to devotees, as Prabhupada giving example that some people think Nityananda is also a ordinary person, not at all a transcendental person. So that is one. Some people has that kind of understanding, even in Gaudiya Sampradaya. So that's Prabhupada is targeting that avajananti mamuda. We need to be careful. So basically, we need to hear from authorities to understand who is who. So Lord is Lord's personality. So we take it generally that because of the material vision, we consider what is spiritual to be material and what is material to be spiritual. Right? We take all the material things to be, they are eternal. They are the source of my unlimited enjoyment. That's the illusion. That's the way we, at least I try to see everything. Oh, this is going to be eternally with me. And these are all these things of material things are a great source of happiness to me eternally. There is no misery in them. That's the conditioned nature. What is material, we see them as spiritual. And what is spiritual, we see them as material. The deities, the holy name. Oh, holy name is so boring, so tasteless. Katha is so boring. How when the katha will end? When the class will end? These are all because our conditionings. We try to feel that spiritual things as material things. Just like here, Hiranyaksha is seeing that in a material form. And Prabhupada is bringing out that point that we may try to see that spiritual personalities from material point of view. Ojananti Mamuda. So we need to be careful. Acche Vishnu Shiladishu, Guru Narmadishu, Vaishnave Jati Buddhi. So there are around 9-10 items what appears to be material, but in actuality they are spiritual in nature. So we need to be very careful and very respectful towards those items. So when we are trying to come in contact with, so by that we can advance. Otherwise we make a lot of offenses. Text 3. So now Hiranyaksha is seeing the Lord and he's trying to address or trying to criticize or it's trying to blaspheme. All these things are happening. Vanagochara is already mentioned, they are like an amphibious beast. Let us see what he's saying. आहैनम्येहाग्नमहिं विमुञ्चनो रसौकसां विश्वसृजेयमर्पिता न स्वस्ति यास्यास् अनया ममेक्षतः सुराधमा सुराधमा असादिता सुकारकृते सुकरकृते. Please read.
The demon addressed the Lord, O beast of the demigods, dressed in the form of a bear. Just hear me, this earth is entrusted to us, the inhabitants of the lower regions, and you cannot take it from my presence and not be hurt by me.
So he's addressing Rasaukasam. We have all these properties ours. Why you are taking our property? This earth is entrusted to us. And so basically he is trying to identify that everything is mine. Who are you to come and snatch it away from our property? I, me, mine. That is the Prabhupada is mentioning that mentality of demonic nature that makes him pride. Please read. Of course, now Prabhupada is more focusing on how the words are used by Hiranyaksha and how Acharyas mention about this is an indirect glorification, not criticism of the Lord. That's the main focus of Prabhupada's purport. Read the underlines.
Demonic nature, I, me, and mine. Sridhar Swami, commenting on this verse, states that although the demon wanted to deride the personality of Godhead in the form of a boar, actually he worshipped him in several words.
That's a comment. I mean, we can use Sanskrit to have many meanings and many ways to bring out various meanings. That's how Acharyas mentioned that he's actually glorifying the Lord. Though it's a criticism externally, there is a criticism, but it's a glorification to the Lord. So he mentions many things. Of course, Managochara is the last verse. What is mentioning Managochara? Actual meaning is one who is resident of forest. As Managochara means animal. Managochara, who resides in the forest, generally animals, mainly, major. Another meaning of Managochara is one who lies on the water. He is a Vishnu, lies on the water. The question. Mruga, Managocharam, Mruga means is also sages. The personality who sought after by great sages. So that is also another different meaning. So he explains many meanings like that. Gna means knowledge, and there is no knowledge which is unknown to Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that is called Agna. Agna is also ignorant. Agna means one who is less intelligent or ignorant. That is the direct meaning. And another meaning is one who knows no knowledge is unknown to him. Agna. So indirectly, therefore, the demon said that Vishnu knows everything. Suradhama means one who is lowest among the suras or the demigods. But another way of saying is you are lord of all there is. You are lord of all the demigods, or they are best of the demigods. So in that way, basically how we divide the Sanskrit words, in that way the meaning can change by adding prefix, by removing the prefix, etc. So these are all Prabhupada explains, and basically they are indirect glorification or glorification of the Lord, because devotees don't want to hear the criticism of the Lord. So Acharyas bring out the another way of seeing the things. That's how they present. Anytime in Bhagavatam, many times this comes, that how Acharyas present in different way. Now, here are some of those glorifications of the Lord. Tvam nah sapatnairabhavaya kimbruto yo maya jahantasuran parokshajit Tvam yogamaya paurusham samstapya mudha pramruje surchayah. Continue.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. You rascal, you have been nourished by your enemies to kill us, and you have killed some demons by remaining invisible. O fool, your power is only mystic. So today I shall enliven my kinsmen by killing you. Purport. Should I read, Prabhu?
Yeah, underlines you can read.
Okay, Prabhu. The demons used the word
Abhavaya.
abhaya, abhaya, which means for killing. Sridhara Swami comments this that this killing means liberating, or in other words, killing the process of continued birth and death. The Lord kills the process of birth and death and keeps himself invisible. The activities of the Lord's internal potency are inconceivable, but by a slight exhibition of this potency, the Lord, by His grace, can deliver, one from any science. Such means
Thank you. So the activities of the Lord, basically 2 points are mentioning here by Hiranyaksha is saying that you have been nourished by our enemies, demigods. They are nourishing means because they are favoring, they are give a lot of ignas and everything. They doing favorable to the for the Lord's pleasure. So they are nourished. You are nourished by enemies to kill us, and you have killed so many demons also, without without directly coming in front. You are remaining invisible. Means from behind you are trying to kill many demons. But today you are in front of us, and we will definitely kill you. Of course, Prabhupada is taking other meanings also here, and he is giving comment on how Lord kills the birth and death. Tamna abhavaya kim bhruto yogamaya purusham. So that killing is taken for killing of the process of birth and death. Process of birth and death, we have, of course, it means Lord gives liberation. Killing process of birth and death means Lord has the capacity to give the liberation to those who are qualified, those who are befitting personalities. That's how one delivers from the shines. That is the potency of the Lord. That's how he is glorified. And Prabhupada writes many of the aspects same way. Not only are the demons always anxious to kill God with words and philosophy, but they think that if one is materially powerful, he can kill God with materially fatal weapons. So here Hiranyaksha is trying to criticize the Lord, and he is trying to disappoint or discourage him in fighting spirit. So that's the way of demonic nature, to kill the God with words and philosophy. Prabhupada is bringing out atheistic philosophies or those who deny existence of God. And here more in terms of expression, even with Hiranyaksha is trying to kill the Lord with weapons. This is their mentality, demonic mentality, less intelligent mentality. He's giving example of Hiranyaksha, Ravana, and etc. also. Hiranyakashipu comes, etc. He's continuing. Hiranyaksha. त्वयि संस्थिते गदया शीर्षणि अस्मद्भुजच्युतया ये च तुभ्यं बलिं हरन्ति ऋषयो ये च देवाः स्वयं सर्वे न भविष्यन्ति अमूलाः.
Translation. The demons continued, when you fall dead with your skull smashed by the mace hurled by my arms. The demigods and the sages who offer you oblations and sacrifice in devotional service will also automatically cease to exist like trees without roots. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Demons are very much disturbed when devotees worship the Lord in the prescribed ways recommended in the scriptures. In the Vedic scriptures, the neophyte devotees are advised to engage in 9 kinds of devotional service, such as to hear and chant the holy names of the God, to remember Him always, to chant on beads Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram, Hare Hare, to worship the Lord in the form of his deity incarnation in the temples, and to engage in various activities of Krishna consciousness to increase the number of godly persons for perfect peace in the world. Demons do not like such activities.
So he's saying that I will smash you to death. And by that, what will happen? Everything will we will achieve, because by your death, all other things will stop. All the demigods also will diminish, and sacrifices will stop. Just like he's also giving example, just like trees without roots. You are the root, right? Now Krishna is the root for all other things. So I will kill you. I will kill the root. So all the tree will go down. So Prabhupada explains about a beautiful way of how these are all activities. So demons doesn't like all these activities. We are all supposed to perform all these activities which are pleasing to Krishna. Thereby, Krishna will be pleased, and we also gain strength, and we can be protected from demonic mentalities or attacks, etc., by doing all these activities. So this is an indirect way of saying that, yeah, by doing devotional service, we'll be protected from all these demonic mentalities. And that is one point. Prabhupada explains about more of that example of Hiranyaksha, how he is,
The
he's
dam-
he's explaining more another analogy of the stomach example he gives here. Then he's explaining that example. By that same point is explained, but in that stomach and all the arms or the limbs of the body are nourished by supplying foodstuffs to the stomach. Krishna is like stomach. We are all like different limbs. So that's main point explains. Demons are always anxious to have a godless society for their own sense gratification. So the main one more point Prabhupada explains here, why they want to kill all these activities on the Lord also, because they have their own agenda. Even in scientific community also, there are many personalities who are there to establish there is no God. Because once we accept God, we have to accept so many other things that come into picture, karma, or the sinful activities, or whatever other things. So because they want to do whatever they want to do, they want. So that's the main aspect of demonic mentality, or even for the current day society, current day scientific advancement. They're trying to remove God from the picture itself, so that they can do whatever they want to do. But that cannot be possible at all. Prabhupada's one more point is that it's not possible. But though they want to do their own sense gratification, they're always anxious to make the society godless. But Sridhar Swami is explaining in a positive way that this verse means that when the demon would be deprived of his mace by the Supreme Personality Godhead, not only the neophyte devotees, but also the ancient sages, sagacious devotees of the Lord would be very much satisfied. Another way of seeing the different words and saying the meaning. Yeah. So demon is saying that I will kill you, so that the root is cut off, and all the so-called demigods and all who are nourished by you will be spoiled, or will be ceased to exist, will be uprooted. Text 6. Satudyamano ridurukta tomarair Tamstragragam gam upalakshya bhitam todam vrashan ambumadyat graha hata sakaruneru yathe baha. Yeah, please read.
Although the Lord was pained by the shaft-like abusive words of the demon, he bore the pain. But seeing that the earth on the end of his tusk was frightened, he rose out of the water just as the elephant emerges with its female companion when assailed by an alligator.
So Lord, after Hiranyaksha is not chastising, rebuking the Lord with the different words. The internal and external responses are spoken here. Internally, Lord was pained by the words, but he tolerated, he bore the pain. Prabhupada explains a beautiful understanding about that one. How Lord is a personality. Right now, Lord is a personality. When somebody criticizes him, it pains him. Not because of the false ego. So that we need to understand. When somebody criticizes us, comments on us, hey, you are fat, you are small, you are thin, you are that, you are this, or you did like that. So our false ego is get crushed. So then we feel out of more disappointment, discouragement, etc. Or somebody praises, oh, you're good, you are doing that, you are wonderful. So you'll be pleased, false ego is boosted. So this is all based on false ego, pleasure and pain. But Lord doesn't have any false ego. But he is pleasure and pain, not centered around false ego, but out of compassion for the person who is trying to either praise or criticize. From his point of view, he is very morose or he's pained. Array, this fellow is ruining himself. In that sense, he is pained. This Hiranyaksha is criticizing me, but by that, he's only ruining his life. Or somebody praises, Lord is pleased that he's very much satisfied because he's in the right process. He's going ahead and he will come to me. So by that, so Lord is satisfied. Lord is satisfied if someone offers him nice prayer. And similarly, if someone decries his existence or calls him by ill names, Lord is dissatisfied. But it is not based on false ego, but it is compassionate nature in connection with the person who is offering or criticizing. So because Lord doesn't have any false ego in that sense. Please read these two.
The conclusion is that God is a sentiment as we are. He is satisfied by our prayers and dissatisfied by our harsh words against him. In order to give protection to his devotee, he is always ready to tolerate insulting words from the atheist.
So he satisfied our prayers and dissatisfied by harsh words. Our activities also, we need to see that how they are pleasing to the Lord, pleasing to the acharyas, pleasing to the parampara, spiritual master. And at the same time, our activities and behavior we need to be careful about. It should be pleasing to the Lord and devotees. Let us read the translations. Yeah, continue.
The demon who had golden,
The demon who had golden hair on his head and fearful tusks gave chase to the Lord while he was rising from the water, even as an alligator would chase an elephant. Roaring like thunder, he said, are you not ashamed of running away before a challenging adversary? There is nothing approachable for shameless creatures.
So, the Hiranyaksha saying, he's roaring. I am not ashamed running away from the challenging. I am challenging you. What you are doing? So Lord is trying to lift the earth. Now. So earth is on his tusks and he's trying to lift the earth right now. So he's in that moment he came and trying to criticize and chastise or inciting is for a fight, etc. Read the purport.
When the Lord was coming out of the water, taking the earth in his arms to deliver it, the demon derided him with insulting words. But the Lord did not care because he was very conscious of his duty. a beautiful man, there is nothing to fear. Similarly, those who are powerful have no fear of derision or unkind words from an enemy. The Lord had nothing to fear from anyone, yet he was merciful to his enemy by neglecting him. Summary. Although apparently he fled from the challenge, it was just to protect the earth from calamity that he tolerated Hiranyaksha deriding words.
Yeah, in this situation also, before Varuna was trying to use intelligence and trying to stop himself with fight for fighting, and then he directed him. Here the Lord is also, he is seeing what is the priority. The priority is not this fellow is criticizing me, now I immediately keep aside everything and fight. No, he's conscious of his duty. Prabhupada is writing. He was very conscious of his duty. Yeah, so that's the, he's giving priority what to do first and what to take up next. So choosing different battles, as we discussed last time also, we need to set the priorities in life. How the Lord is setting as a duty. Duties are first, and other things the people keep on commenting or criticizing, doing so many other activities which may not be very relevant to our lives. So we need to be careful. So the caravan, Prabhupada many times mentions this one. The caravan passes as the dogs keep on barking. As the dogs keep on barking on the road. Caravan means just like an elephant or caravan, elephant, and with all royal entourage is passes on. But many other dogs keep on barking, but we should not be bothered about. So that's the whole world is like that. If we keep on trying to attend everyone's comment and everyone's activities that are trying to come in our lives, then we'll go mad. So, but we need to set priorities. We need to understand what is important to be done, and we carry on without bother much. Of course, if it is important and urgent, we address first. So to keep the earth is important and urgent, right? Then he did it first, and then trying to fight with Hiranyaksha is important, but it's not as urgent as the earth, saving the earth. So he took up later. So similarly, the beautiful verse mentioned by Kulashekar Alvar that Tejantu Bandava Sarve Nindanto Guravo Janaha Tatapi Paramananto Govindo Pamajivanam. So my relatives, my superiors, whoever it may be, they may be keep on saying so many things. They may be keep on criticizing me, condemning me, but still supremely blissful Govinda remains my life and soul. The devotional service will always remains my life and soul. So as a devotee's priorities, whatever may happen in life, I am going to serve the Lord. So keeping first things first. So that's the Lord also is trying to perform his duty of saving the earth first, and then and then he will address the challenge of the Hiranyaksha. Yeah, read.
The Lord placed the earth within his sight on the surface of the water. And transferred to her his own energy in the form of the ability to float on the water. While the enemy stood looking on, Brahma, the creator of the universe, extolled the Lord, and the other demigods rained flowers on him.
Yeah, so now he is doing the protection of the earth, and he did that, and also he invested energy to float it. As we read and also in Gita that Gama Vishya Bhutani Dharayamya Hamojasa Pushnami Choshati Sarva Soma Bhutva Rasatmakaha. 15th chapter it comes where Krishna is Gama Vishya Bhutani Dharayam Hamojasa. By my energy, I make them. I invest energy in all the planets to make them float. So here also is keeping on in its orbit. And then, and by that, all the demigods are so much pleased, and they are appreciating the Lord's activity. While the enemy stood looking on, the Brahma created extolled the Lord. He glorified and he is showering flowers on the Lord. This also may be encouraging more and more to the enemy. So generally, when you neglect some enemy and you keep on doing your own activities, you don't even bother, you don't even respond to other person. Let us suppose somebody is criticizing me or somebody is chastising me, angry on me. If you are not even looking at them, they become more enraged many times, at least for some time. So that's how his Hiranyaksha is incited by the Lord in a different way. But of course, the demigods were very pleased and they showered flowers. And Prabhupada explains how not only Earth but all the planets are floating because of Krishna is entering Gama, Vishus, Bhutani. A floating power is endowed upon them by the Lord. There is no other possible explanation. So scientists or whatever, they may say so many explanations which don't have any proof at all. As they mention also, oh, it's because of gravitation they are floating, not because of God. Prabhupada mentions, oh, but the law of gravitation also works under the control of the Lord only. All the laws are also made by the Krishna only or God only. So in that sense, everything is maintained by the Lord. It's because of the Lord only. All things are existing or maintained. Srishti Sthiti Laya. All things are happening by the mercy of the Lord. So the Lord's activities could be appreciated only by the demigods, added by Brahma, because that's the nature of devotees, to appreciate the inconceivable potency of the Lord, not by any other demonic personalities or envious personalities. They cannot appreciate the Lord's extraordinary powers. So that's explained by Prabhupada even from theological application, how scientists cannot appreciate the Lord's omnipotency, and they may even deride the Lord's. They may give so many other explanations, but it's all under the control of the Lord. Lord is only doing that. So till now, Hiranyaksha is trying to criticize the Lord. Now, after placing the earth in her orbit, and now Lord is fitting reply is giving to Hiranyaksha. Please read.
The demon who had a wealth of ornaments, bangles, and beautiful golden armor on his body chased the Lord from behind with a great mace. The Lord tolerated his piercing ill words, but in order to reply to him, he expressed his terrible anger.
Continue.
The Lord could have chastised the demon immediately while the demon was deriding the Lord with ill words, but the Lord tolerated him to please the demigods and to show that they should not be afraid of demons while discharging their duties. Therefore, his toleration was displayed mainly to drive away the fears of the demigods, who should know that the Lord is always present to protect them. The demon's derision of the Lord was just like the barking of dogs. The Lord did not care about it, since he was doing his own work in delivering the earth from the midst of the waters.
The same theme, Prabhupada, from last few verses, what is going on. Prabhupada explained a little bit more that Lord tolerated all this. In the two ways he's mentioning that it is to show that they should not be afraid. Basically, demigods should not be afraid of the demons while discharging their duties. This is also one major point. That Krishna is there. Whatever may be happening, whatever things are happening, Krishna will be there to protect our devotional service. So we should not be too much bothered about all the demonic influences. Yesterday we are discussing about the question. There will be so much of disturbance also, because that's the nature of Kali. It's going to happen. But by understanding the presence of the Lord and His protection and the faith in His protection, that's what one of the angas of surrender also. Krishna will protect me and Krishna will maintain me. That's the aspect we need to practice, and we need to also grow more and more in that aspect. That's how we are surrendering more and more, means we are increasing in our devotional service. That's how we can see the barometer of surrender. How much we are surrendering means, yeah, we can see in these aspects that I am actually feeling Krishna will protect me and Krishna will maintain me. In that sense, yeah, this is an evidence that Krishna is showing that we should not be afraid when we are discharging our duties. That is giving confidence to all the devatas, Brahmaji also. His tolerance, therefore, his tolerance was displayed mainly to drive away the fears of demigods who should know that the Lord is always present to protect them. So that's one of the main points Prabhupada brings out. So in the story wise, so now he placed the earth, but the Hiranyaksha is now trying to chase the Lord. Yeah, he is trying to chase the Lord. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Satyam Vayambho Vanagocharam Mruga Yushmad Mrugaye Grama Simhan Namrutyupashay Pratimuktasya Vira Muk Vikat Vikathanam Tava Granatya Badra.
The personality of Godhead said, "Indeed, we are creatures of the jungle, and we are searching after hunting dogs like you. One who is freed from the entanglement of death has no fear from the loose talk in which you are indulging, for you are bound up by the laws of death."
So Lord is befitting reply. That's what the befitting reply means. He criticized with many words. So Lord using same words to make him understand. Yeah, we are all jungle creatures, but we are looking for dogs like you to hunt and kill. So that is one point. And you are all bound up with the loss of death, and you will talk like this only. So that's one of the main point Prabhupada is highlighting. Read.
Demons and atheistic persons can go on insulting the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but they forgot that they are subjected to the laws of birth and death. They think that simply by decrying the existence of the Supreme Lord or defying his stringent laws of nature, one can be freed from the clutches of birth and death.
But they forget, the people of they forget the demons and atheists. They are always criticizing, but they forget they are going to subject to the loss of death, loss of birth and death. There was one famous atheist in Western countries. He used to make public demonstrations. I will prove the non-existence of God. I will prove that God is not existing. He used to gather many people and a big kind of a public forum, and he used to announce announce in the sense he used to, after everybody assembled, then he used to cry out, "Oh God, if you are really existing and if you want to prove yourself, you strike a thunderbolt right now and kill me now. If you cannot, then it's evidence, it's a proof that you are not existing." He used to shout and he used to yell, he used to cry, but there used to be no any kind of thunderbolt or any reaction from sky. Then he used to say, "See, you fools, you understand? There is no God at all. We should progress by science. We should not have sentimental faiths in all these things." So that's how he used to kind of show off public forums. But unfortunately, by the laws of nature, he was struck by the death right now in due course of time. He could not save himself, what to speak of others. So people claim so many things. All these people decrying, they think that simply by decrying the existence of Supreme Lord, defying his stringent laws of nature, one can be freed from clutches of death. And they only just think like that. They can't even sustain, as we also discussed about Muhammad Ali. Though initially he was saying, "I'm the greatest," but he's the greatest fool, he himself proclaimed. So we should not be too much, there will be so many things will happen in due course of time. There will be so many things will keep on coming up. either by science, either by society, either by activities or incidents, which can shake our faith in the Supreme Lord. But we need to keep on sticking to our parampara, hearing and reading and chanting and experiencing the presence of the Lord in our lives, by which only our Bhakti Lata creeper, which is having a great roots, the faith is not shaken up at any time. So that's all our responsibility is, that when we keep on reading and hearing based on Shastra Chakshu, when we are reading every day and understanding nicely, and also trying to go deeper in our aspects of devotional life. And thereby our faith is becoming stronger and stronger day by day, which is not at all shaken by any kind of storm that may come in any form in life, internally and externally. Thereby we go ahead with our spiritual life. That's one of our main responsibilities, to see that our faith is becoming stronger day by day. Yeah, please read 11th translation.
Certainly, we have stolen the charge of the inhabitants of Rasatala and have lost all shame. Although bitten by your powerful mace, I shall stay here in the water for some time, because having created enmity with a powerful enemy, I now have no place to go.
So this is Lord is saying, the kind of it's a very humbling words. It's or in a sense of that I'm losing kind of a thing. But although bitten by your powerful mace, he's saying to Hiranyaksha, he's saying that we have stolen the charge of inhabitants of Rasatal and lost fame. Oh, I agree, no problem. But I'll stay here. I now have no place to go. It's kind of a humbling words he's saying. Read the purport.
The demon should have known that God cannot be driven out of any place, for he is all pervading. Demons think of their possessions as their property, but actually everything belongs to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who can take anything at any time he likes.
So, in other words, in opposite way, Prabhupada is mentioning that it's everything belongs to who. I mean, how we can drive away the Lord from any place? His Paramatma is everywhere. Sarvasya jaham hridisannivishto. Not only hriday, in all the hearts, but in everywhere. Andantarastha paramanujayantarastha. Everything belongs to God. So, in that sense, it cannot be possible. But Lord is just humbling himself. Textual.
Translation: You are supposed to be the commander of my foot soldiers, of many foot. You are supposed to be the commander of many foot soldiers, and now you may take prompt steps to overthrow us. Give up all your foolish talk and wipe out the cares of your kith and kin by slaying us. One may be proud, yet he doesn't deserve a seat in an assembly if he fails to fulfill his promised word.
Continue.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A demon may be a great soldier or a commander of a large number of infantry, but in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is powerless and is destined to die. The Lord therefore challenged the demon not to go away, but to fulfill his promised word to kill him.
The Lord therefore challenged him. The challenging words is, though he's saying in humble words, but he's challenging. Yeah, I am ready now to be killed by you. Let us fight. So that in that sense, he's making now the actual fight starts. Here, Maitreya is saying that. Yeah, Maitreya starts about discussion, what is happening between them. Read.
Translation: Sri Maitreya said, the demon, being thus challenged by the personality of Godhead, became angry and agitated, and he trembled in anger like a challenged cobra. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A cobra is very fierce before ordinary persons, but before an enchanter who can play with him, he is a plaything. Similarly, a demon may be very powerful in his own domain, but but before the Lord, he is insignificant. The demon Ravana was a fire figure before the demigods. But when he was before Lord Ramchandra, he trembled and prayed to his deity Lord Shiva, but to no avail.
So, though the demon is very big in terms of normal people, or as Prabhupada mentioning, is that in his own domain, he may be very powerful, but before the Lord is insignificant. Similarly, every day we sing Narasimharati, that though Hiranyakashipu is a great, great person, that we see in the verse itself, it says that Tanubhrangam, he became like a very small insect. Lord teared off his body, just like a small baby, small child tears off a small insect. It becomes like a small insect in the hands. Tanubhrangam. Branga is like a very small bee kind of a thing. So he's a so big person, but he became so small in front of the Lord. So similarly, it can apply to many problems of life, the demons of life. So when we take shelter of the Lord, all the problems will become insignificant. That definitely. So when we actually, just like raising our consciousness, as we have three buildings in front of our NVCC, ISKCON NVCC, the three big buildings we see just next to the road. When we go to Harinam, we go to parking. From parking, if you see the through buildings, 25 or 30 floors, it's become so huge in front of eyes to look at. But the same buildings will be very insignificant when we travel in airplane. We can't even see at all. So similarly, all these problems of life, when we take shelter of the Lord, though they may appear to be very huge, they will be very insignificant before the Lord. They will become Tanubhrangam. Lord will take it off. The Lord will definitely turn them into very, very insignificant things. That's the power of the Lord. That's the nature of taking shelter of the Lord. That's how we always need to take shelter of the great things. The Supreme Lord, He can do everything into very insignificant, if at all it's troubling to us. Yeah. Continue.
Translation: hissing indignantly, all his senses shaken by wrath, the demon quickly sprang upon the Lord and dealt him a blow with his powerful mace.
Yeah, now fighting is going on. Lord is fighting with his mace and he hit him. Continue.
The Lord, however, by moving slightly aside, dodged a violent mace blow aimed at his breast by the enemy, just as an accomplished yogi would elude death.
So the demon is attacking. The demon was attacking Hiranyakashipu, but Lord maneuvered himself very amazingly. So he missed, or he escaped it. Just like the example is also given, yogi elude death. Death comes as a blow, but a yogi knows how to escape death. Prabhupada writes a beautiful comment. Read.
Superficially, it may be seen that a yogi is attacked by a death blow, but by the grace of the Lord, he can overcome many such attacks for the service of the Lord, as the Lord exists by his own independent prowess, by the grace of the Lord, and the devotees also exist for his service.
That's an amazing statement, sir. These are all his own experiences, ecstasies. Prabhupada, we always read that purports are ecstasies that by the grace of the Lord, the devotee, of course, he's saying a yogi here, but he's referring to a devotee only. Topmost yogi, devotee is the topmost yogi. He can overcome many such attacks for the service of the Lord. Yeah, service of the Lord. We have to do so many things, but many things will come in between, many attacks will come in between. But by grace of Lord and for the service of the Lord, he will escape all those things. And by the grace of the Lord, devotees also exist for his service. As the Lord exists by his own independent prowess, and devotee also by his intelligence and by his prowess, he also exists. He also proves that I am there, my dear Lord, for your service. That is the nature of a devotee. Yeah, continue.
Translation: the personality of Godhead now exhibited his anger and rushed to meet the demon, but who bit his lip in rage, took up his mace again, and began to repeatedly brandish it about.
So he's also, Lord is taking his mace and is whirling around, showing that, and he's going to attack. Continue.
Then with his mace, the Lord struck the enemy on the right of his brow. But since the demon was expert in fighting, O gentle Vidura, he protected himself by a maneuver of his own mace.
So they are expert fighters. They are trying to fight a wonderful fight with mace, the gada. They are maneuvering each other. One is striking, another is escaping. Things are happening like that. Continue.
In this way, the demon Hiranyaksha and the Lord, the personality of Godhead, struck each other with their huge maces, each enraged and seeking his own victory. Hiranyaksha is another name for Hiranyaksha the demon. Haryaksha.
Haryaksha is another name of Hiranyaksha. So that's how things are going on, and both are trying to fight with each other and trying to strike with each other, but they are maneuvering very nicely, and two rivalries combating with each other. Other devotee can read, some other devotee.
There was keen rivalry between the two components. Both had both had sustained injuries on their bodies from the blow of each other's pointed mace, and each grew more and more enraged at the smell of blood on his person. In their eagerness to win, they performed maneuvers of various kinds, and their contest looked like an encounter between two forceful bulls for the sake of a cow.
Yeah. So here, cow is compared to Mother Earth, and the bulls are compared to the Supreme Lord and the Hiranyaksha. Of a Prabhupada writes purport on Ilavat Varsha, how Ila is mentioned in the verse itself, Ilavata. So that's Prabhupada mentions on that aspect how this Bharat Varsha is called Ilayam, Yabhad Ilayam Eva. So he mentions this was Bharat Varsha, Ilavat Varsha initially, then Bharat Varsha, and now India. So that's what he mentions, comments on. Continue.
O descendant of Kuru, Brahma, the most independent demigod of the universe, accompanied by his followers, came to see the terrible fight for the sake of the world between the demon and the personality of Godhead, who appeared in the form of a boar.
So now Brahma, so he was a little bit worried about what is happening. Lord is just fighting, just like now it will come. The analogy also will come. How a child plays with a snake. He's just playing, or he got anxiety. Otherwise, the demon will gain a lot of strength. We may not win. So Brahmaji's anxiety. He is coming down now. Prabhupada explains the different words of the verse. Igna avayavasya, ignava avayasya, Supreme Lord, of whose body Yajna is a part. So on that point, the Prabhupada explains Yajna vai Vishnuhu, how Yajna is a sacrifice. We need to offer sacrifices to the Lord for the pleasure of the Lord. Everything should be pleasure of the Lord. That's one of the main point about Vishnu. And then one more part is that Brahma is described as Swarat. About Brahmaji explains how everybody has independence, but only Brahma has a maximum independence, but he is not independent fully. Swarat. So is also mentioned as Swarat is independence, but he doesn't fully Swarat. He's only has a minute independence. So that's the main point of the purport. So that's the Lord Varaha and Hiranyaksha. They are fighting with each other. They are trying to incite anger with each other, so that they are relishing the fighting with each other. But Brahmaji seeing the fight, he was getting a little anxiety. It's becoming dark and now demons will get a lot of strength. What will happen? So he came to request the Lord, my dear Lord, please kill him. So it's from text 20 to 28, Brahmaji request the Lord to kill Hiranyaksha. Yeah, please read.
After arriving at the place of combat, the Brahma, the leaders of thousands of sages and transcendentalists, saw the demon and who attained such unprecedented power that no one could fight with him. Brahma then addressed Narayana, who was assuming the form of a boar for the first time.
Brahma uvacha esha te devadevanam angrimulam upeyusham vipranam saurabheinam bhutanam api anagasam agaskrit bhayakrit duskrit asmadrathavaro surah अन्वेषन् अप्रतिरथो लोकान् अटति कंटकः.
Lord Brahma said, "My dear Lord, this demon has proved to be a constant pinprick to the demigods, the Brahmanas, the cows, and the innocent persons who are spotless and always dependent upon worshipping your lotus feet. He has become a source of fear by unnecessarily harassing them. Since he has attained a boon from me, he has become a demon, always searching for a proper combatant, wandering all over the universe for this infamous purpose."
So here Brahmaji is explaining, I only gave the boon. So here from here we understand we can take it that here Hiranyaksha also performed austerities and Brahmaji only gave the boon. But here now he understands. So he's understanding that he's did a mistake or kind of a. That's how he coming to the Lord himself and requesting, Lord, my dear Lord, so please try to do something. He's becoming a pinprick. So that's what Prabhupada explains the way of demons, how they generally demons are becoming a pinprick or the source of trouble to society, but not the devotees. Prabhupada contrast between these two devotees. So the way of demon is to take power from the demigods and then attack the demigods themselves. So then he gives the example of Lord Shiva, Bhasmasur or Banasur. So that example he gives how they take the benedictions from the demigods, Brahmaji, here Brahmaji, and that example of Lord Shiva. But they also become trouble to themselves, to the demigods themselves again, though they take benediction from them. That's a demonic mentality. Of course, we can see in our lives also, we can try to apply what we are doing. But that also can be a good point to reflect on. So the devotees of Supreme Lord do not, this is opposite how devotees should be. However, ask any favor, they don't ask any favor from sense gratification. Even if they are offered liberation, they refuse it. They are happy simply engaging in transcendental loving service of the Lord. So this is the classical, devotees mood or consciousness. Though they may take anything from the Lord, they always utilize in the service of the Lord. First of all, they don't use in the negative sense or in a wrong way, which is opposing to the Krishna consciousness for themselves or for others, propagation also. At the same time, they don't even take it out also in the highest sense. They refuse it. Text 24. Read translation. What Brahma is saying.
Lord Brahma continued, "My dear Lord, there is no need to play with this serpentine demon, who is always very skilled in conjuring tricks and is arrogant, self-sufficient, and most wicked.
Continue.
No one is unhappy when a serpent is killed. It is a practice among village boys to catch a serpent by the tail and play with it for some time and then kill it. Similarly, the Lord could have killed the demon at once, but he played with him in the same way as the child plays with a snake before killing it."
Yeah, so Brahmaji Generally, devatas are little anxiety. They come in under anxiety a little bit when Lord is trying to. There are many situations we read in Bhagavatam also. But Lord is playing with him just to have some fun, just like a child used to play. Used to play with the snakes before killing it. Text 25. Read.
Brahma continued, My dear Lord, you are infallible. Please kill this sinful demon before the demoniac hour arrives and he presents another formidable approach favorable to him. You can kill him by your internal potency without doubt.
Yeah. So basically, he's requesting now it's time to kill him. Yeah.
My Lord, the darkest evening which covers the world is fast approaching. Since you are the soul of all souls, kindly kill him and win victory for the demigods. The auspicious period known as Abhijit, which is most opportune for victory, commenced at midday and has all but passed. Therefore, in the interest of your friends, please dispose of this formidable foe quickly.
Yeah.
The demon, luckily for us, has come of his own accord to you. His death ordained by you, therefore exhibiting your ways. Kill him in the duel and establish the worlds in peace. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport of the third canto, 18th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled The Battle Between Lord Boar and the Demon Hiranyaksha.
So basically, only two main points. Two main points in the sense. Initially, the first section where we have seen the conversation between Hiranyaksha and Lord Varaha. Conversation, not the conversation exactly, but it's a kind of a criticism each other, main two sections. And then next one is Brahmaji coming and requesting the Lord to immediately kill that person. So these are little shorter chapters, 17, 18, 19. I think 20 is a little bit okay, but all these are, next chapter is also fighting, and the death of a demon will be there. Okay, so we complete successfully the 17th and 18th. So we pause here and you can carry on, but there is some question, it seems. Yes, we have some announcements before question. On bro. Hare Krishna. Anand, you have any announcements? Okay. Okay, Asma, do you have a question?
Hare Krishna, Pravidanvat Pranam. Prabhuji, as we compare, suppose two devotees, like in first canto, Bhishma Dev, when he draws arrows towards the Lord, and Lord is fighting with the Bhishma Dev, and here Lord is fighting with the Hiranaksha. So, what is the difference between both of these devotees and their fighting? I mean,
The difference between Bhishma's fighting and here fighting. There especially Bhishma Dev, they explained there in the first canto, Bhishma Dev desired to show the Bhaktavatsalata of the Lord. How Lord is so kind to his devotee, especially to Arjun, that he wanted to show to the world. That's what the comment by Vishnu Thakur. That's Bhishma Dev had the desire to show how Lord is so dear to his devotees. He can go to any extent to protect his devotees, to show that is one reason, that his main reason is given. That's how Bhishma Dev fought so ferociously. The Lord has to break his own woe also. That's what another reason that we see that Bhishma Dev himself took a vow that I will make sure that the Lord breaks his vow. But that is a secondary. The first thing is, as per Vishnu Chakra, that he had the great desire that how Lord is so kind to his devotees, to the extent that he can do anything that to save his devotee Arjun. So that is the main aspect. In that sense, Bhishma was fighting ferociously with Arjun, and especially on that day, he wanted to kill. He is trying to kill. Of course, that other pastime of the 5 arrows pastime also is known. After that, only he became so ferocious, Bhishma Dev, because he came to know that Krishna only did did this act of taking away these 5 arrows. No one else know how 5 arrows are with me. So he understood, and then he took a vow. But the main reason there explained is that to show the Bhaktavatsalata of Lord. That's how he was fighting very, very ferociously with the Lord, and especially with Arjun, especially. And then Lord, we know the pastime how we read you might have definitely discussed in the Bhishma's prayers how he was so relishing. Bhishma is relishing all these activities, and also the second aspect is of relishing the Virya Rasa of Bhishma with the Lord is explained. So the fight between them is more intimate in that sense of showing bringing out the Lord's intimate relation with his devotees. Lord is breaking his own promise to keep the promise of his devotee. That is an exchange with Bhishma Dev, and also showing extreme degree of Bhaktavatsalata to Arjuna. That is also a wonderful quality is bringing out there. There is more intimate from the comparison point of view, how the intimacy can be seen. And though a fight is going on, but the relation is at a different level. Right, the prayers themselves, Bhishma's prayers, we can see that how intimacy is entirely at a different level is going on, though externally fight is going on. But here is the compare. If you want to compare, here is more definitely Lord is relishing. For that only Lord made this whole situation. That's we read in the last section that the Jai Vijay thought, okay, let us give Lord a good fight, and he wants to release the fighting rasa. So definitely here also Lord is relishing, but it is more of a Vaikuntha relish, the fighting spirit with on reverence. There it's more at a different degree with Arjuna and with Bhishma Dev. That rasa point of view. At different degrees, the different flavors of rasa they are exchanging. Yeah, that intimacy is a little bit more in Bhishma Dev and Arjuna's case than here. That we can understand. That much I can understand between these two fightings. Yeah. Any other thing? Okay. Thank you so much. We'll continue. The pastime will continue a little bit next and one more session, 19th and 20th. And then again another topic itself will begin. So Srimad Bhagavatam, we have wonderful pastimes that are going on. Especially this pastime is exclusively, of course, one more point that this pastime of Jai Vijay may not, in the sense, they may not come again and again in each day of Brahma. The Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu are devotees now, those who are coming in this day of Brahma, in this Chakshusha Manvantara, when they are coming as demons and fighting with the Lord, may not happen all the days of Brahma. In other days of Brahma, the demons themselves are not devotees. They are jivas only. They are becoming demons, powerful demons, and the Lord is fighting with them and killing them, etc. The point was made that all the days the Jai Vijay may not come down and fight with the Lord. Other days maybe demons. Other demons will be jivas who become demons. The Lord is fighting with them. That is one more additional point we need to understand in this aspect. That's what I heard from His Grace Kanai Krishna Prabhu. Just a side note. Okay, we pause here for the day. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
His Grace Keshav Nimai Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.